We're back for our daily NBA best bets here for Saturday, November 1st. We've got 6 games today in the National Basketball Association. We, of course, have our 5 best bets for these 6 games. I'll say now the one game we are not featuring today, the Indiana Pacers at home against the Golden State Warriors. Okay, see, when I was very confident about the Pacers making the playoffs, I didn't think that they were going to have their entire team hurt. Like, I knew they were going into the season with McConnell out, obviously Halliburton and whatnot. I didn't think that Obi Toppin was going to be out till February. Just the entire team. Nembhard and Mathurin are both out right now. It's actually brutal, man. I don't know what's happening. But you know what? If they get AJ from BYU, who cares? You know, Pacers 2026, 2027, they'll be back. Okay, Pascal Siakam's going to put up insane numbers right now on a losing team, and there's actually still a chance they sneak into the play-in because of how bad the bottom of the Eastern Conference will still be. Regardless of that, folks, we've got 5 best bets here for November 1st, and before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA best bets here on the channel. Earlier today, we posted our Game 7 World Series best bets, obviously between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Toronto Blue Jays, so you're not going to want to miss that video, linked in the description down below, or on the channel. Also, go make sure to check out our college football predictions and our NFL predictions, both, again, predictions and best bets over there. Okay, on to the first of our 5 best bets here for this Saturday slate of basketball, kicking things off with the Sacramento Kings in Milwaukee, Wisconsin against the Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah, I'm actually taking Russell Westbrook again. I think this line's still too low. I mean, for the amount of shots Russ takes and for the amount of minutes Russ plays, asking him to score 12 points really is not a lot, and since we've seen this uptick in minutes for Russ, he's gotten this in every single game he's played. Last 3 games for Russell Westbrook, 27, 30, and 29 minutes respectively in all 3. He's scored 18, 16, and 12 points in all of those games. Westbrook has been starting for Sacramento. Again, started with Zach LaVine, Dennis Schroeder, DeMar DeRozan, and Domantas Sabonis. So they're playing an extremely small lineup in Sacramento, but Russ is a part of that right now. He's essentially playing the 2 guard. They're obviously playing Schroeder at the 1 and LaVine at the 3. And then I guess DeMar is technically playing a 4 right now, and obviously Sabonis is their big. And that's partially to do with the injuries that they have, right? Malik Monk is still out and whatnot. Keegan Murray, obviously, who they signed to a big extension in the offseason, will be back in the starting lineup eventually, and that's when Russ, I believe, has to officially go back to a bench role unless they decide to start him going forward than Schroeder, which I don't believe they're going to do. But anyways, though, for now, until, Keegan comes back, which won't be for a minute, and until Malik Monk's back, which I think will probably be in their next game, I'm still going to keep rolling with Westbrook. Guys, Westbrook's getting 30 minutes. Russ will score 12 points in 30 minutes. It's a lot of time to get shots up. And I know yesterday our Royce O'Neal confidence play didn't hit because it's the one game where he couldn't sink threes. He actually ended up with 3, but started off the game very poorly from beyond the arc and did not go over the marks. It is what it is. It happens. But Russ in the last 3 games for Sacramento takes 12 shots against the Lakers, hits 4 3-pointers, that's 18 points. Against the Oklahoma City Thunder in OKC, 30 minutes, 4 for 8 from beyond the arc, 16 points. That's what we had in that game. We had over the 8.5 it was. And then in the Kings' last game in Chicago, Illinois, against the undefeated Bulls, Russell Westbrook had played 29 minutes, 4 for 9 shooting, 1 for 4 from beyond the arc, 3 for 4 from the free throw line, and 12 points. Didn't even take that many shots. Again, Russ took single-digit shots and still found a way to score 12 points. Now, don't expect him to take only 9 shots. Again, I expect an uptick in that. I expect Westbrook to take way more than just that. But my point being with all this is, look at the way the Kings' rotation is right now and the limited guys that they have. Westbrook will continue to play because they don't really play that many guys off the bench. Additionally, again, Malik Monk played their last game against the Bulls. He's out due to personal reasons tonight. Who do they play off the bench? Keon Ellis is going to get 20-plus minutes. Who else? Eubanks is their backup 5. You're going to play Devin Carter. You have to play Devin Carter. Who else are you going to play? Doug McDermott? Isaac Jones? You don't have many bench guys right now. With the injuries that you have and the situation that you have with Malik Monk right now not playing, you kind of dug yourself into a hole, which kind of begs the question, too, like, what would have the Kings done if they didn't sign Westbrook? Because Westbrook's starting games for them right now. What was going to happen if they didn't, sign him on just a couple weeks ago? So Westbrook 12 points is pretty easy, in my opinion, tonight. I look at this game that they've taken on Milwaukee. The big injury concern right now for Milwaukee is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo did not play the Bucks last game against the Golden State Warriors, yet Milwaukee still won. And of course, Miles Turner went over his points. And I'm going to hold off on my Miles Turner rant today. Next time I talk about the Bucks, I have a lot of things to say about Miles Turner. Regardless of that, though, it's a spot where the Kings should score. And guys, Sacramento scores every single night. They just don't really play good defense at all because nobody really plays defense. And Sabonis has been lacking, interior-wise so far in this season. The Kings are 1-4. They only wins a game over the Utah Jazz where they barely edged out a victory. I think the Bucks probably put it on them. But at the same time, right, I mean, Russell Westbrook in a rotation that you're missing now Malik Monk. Even more minutes for Russ. I mean, again, the Kings should be fine here. Well, no, I don't care about the Kings. Russell Westbrook should be fine in this spot. I'm going to go Russ over 11.5 points. This does feel like it's pretty automatic in my opinion. Minus 130 for Westbrook. It's a team that right now simply just relies on Zach LaVine. LaVine does all their scoring as he's dropped 30 points in every single game so far this season other than one, and they really struggled to find that third option because obviously the second option is going to be DeMar DeRozan. Who's going to step up? Some games it is Russell Westbrook. Schroeder's not taking the most shots out there. Schroeder scored 5 points in their last game. Sabonis really isn't scoring that much. I scored 18 points in their last game. I don't know. It is a team, by the way, that is kind of playing a 7-man rotation right now. 7.5 if you include the limited minutes Devin Carter gets. So now what happens when Malik Monk's out of the rotation? We've been seeing 30 minutes a night out of Westbrook. We might see 35 tonight. Expect the Kings to play their starters quite a bit, and Russell Westbrook should go over 11.5 points. Give me the former MVP again on his over at minus 130. On to our second best bet of the video, we move to our first spread of the day. Let's go to the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina, as the Minnesota Timberwolves are on the road taking on the Charlotte Hornets. I'm going to take Hornets plus 5.5 here. Charlotte is a 2-3 team currently, dropping back-to-back games to the Orlando Magic and the Miami Heat. This is all dependent on LaMelo Ball. If LaMelo Ball does not play, don't bet this game. Brandon Miller is still out with an injury, so that sucks for Charlotte. I think it's a shoulder injury for him, but this does hinge on LaMelo. If LaMelo doesn't play this game, I have no confidence at all in Charlotte to cover this spot. And I get it, the Timberwolves aren't playing Ant. Ant's still out, and that's really the main reason I'm doing this. But even an Ant-less Timberwolves team will be able to cover against a LaMelo-less Charlotte squad. But if LaMelo does play, then we should be in business. Now, Charlotte's last game we picked against them, we had Orlando Magic money line, and Orlando Magic money line easily cashed on Thursday night. Huge victory for the Magic. Charlotte got back into that game in the third quarter, but Orlando came storming back in the fourth and completely put it out of reach for the Hornets, who cut the lead to like 2 at one point in time, or like 4 at one point in time. So a good one for Orlando. Again, we thought that line was severely underpriced. LaMelo played quite a bit, played 36 minutes, 17 points, and 13 assists. Obviously, Ball is going to be one of their main scorers and main shot takers, as actually Colin Sexton off of the bench led Charlotte in points. He played 25 minutes and scored 19 points. Currently, the Hornets are starting LaMelo at the 1, Zion James at the 2. They started Knuppel at the 3, Bridges at the 4, and then Kalk-Brenner, obviously, because Charlotte's got, Kalk and Ball this year. Both starting. It's the cock and ball connection. Regardless, though, I think Charlotte can cover tonight if Ant doesn't play. We look at the Timberwolves and what they've been doing post-Ant injury. Obviously, Ant goes down in that Indiana game, and the Pacers, have been really bad so far this season dealing with their injury problems. But they beat the Pacers by 4 points without Ant, and then they go play Denver. They lose by 13, and then the Lakers come into town, and Los Angeles is dominating that entire game against the Minnesota Timberwolves until the Timberwolves go on a huge run in the fourth. You're thinking, okay, Lakers choke. Nope. Austin Reeves. And then yesterday, too, I thought that game was kind of over at halftime. Nope. Lakers come storming back. How about Luka Doncic? That's MVP stuff right there. 40 points in every single game he's played so far this season. Are we serious? Luka Doncic. That's the MVP. The Lakers, I'm still concerned about OKC. Feel like we're actually like a contender now. Just because Luka and AR's stepping up and Ayton's playing decently well. I know he got injured yesterday. He's fine. Ooh, man. The Lakers are trouble. I'm telling you. They are trouble right now. But Minnesota loses to them. Julius Randle takes the load essentially he scores the most for Minnesota. He puts up 33 in that game for Minnesota. And the Timberwolves lead a big comeback in that game only to ultimately fall short against the Los Angeles Lakers, and now they're on the road in Charlotte. This Hornets team, they're not going to go anywhere, obviously, and that does sound, a little harsh because we're 5 games into the season. But what I can say about Charlotte is that they score a lot of points. Played the 76ers tough a couple nights ago where they went on the road to Philly and only lost by 4 points. Actually, that was like a week ago at this point now. The back-to-back losses do suck, but as long as LaMelo plays, I think we're going to be fine. If LaMelo doesn't play, Colin Sexton takes that starting spot. Sexton's capable, don't get me wrong, but that's not a guy who's going to lead you every single night. Obviously, you need a franchise player and a star player and an all-star on the court at all times, and if that's not LaMelo and Brandon Miller is out, who is going to be the lead scorer tonight? It will be Colin Sexton, but as long as LaMelo plays, which I believe he's going to. Again, the report currently on Ball is that he is questionable to play in Saturday's game due to an ankle injury. So as long as he plays, I believe we're going to be fine. Minnesota without Ant, they're not the same squad. Edwards obviously has a massive impact on that team, and the guy that has stepped up so far has been Julius Randle, and honestly, Jaden McDaniels, who just feels like he's everywhere on the court and scored 30 points for Minnesota in their loss against Los Angeles, right? A combined 63 out of both Randle and McDaniels. Other than that, though, they only had one more 10-plus point scorer, and that was Dante DiVincenzo. You only had 9 points out of Rudy Gobert, who obviously you're not expecting to score. Same thing with Mike Conley, who only scored 8, but again, that's your problem when Ant's not playing, because Conley just takes that starting job at the 1, and now you have 2 guys who, again, Conley's pass first, Gobert is just out there to grab rebounds and be a defensive guy, so really you have 3 scoring options who, McDaniels, I actually need to say, McDaniels has taken the biggest step up in the Ant absence so far, because Randall we've seen be a pretty good scorer in the past and, be a guy who can put up 30-plus points. McDaniels offering that while playing 41 minutes is huge. But again, you just have 3 guys who can actively score on offense in Randall, McDaniels, and DiVincenzo, because Conley and Gobert really aren't threats. And then off the bench, Terrence Shannon can play, Rob Dillingham, but they both put up O's against the Lakers. And then Naz Reid, who has had a very cold start to the season. Do we need to talk about it? Naz Reid, I know he played well against the Nuggets, but other than the Nuggets game, Reid's been pretty bad this year. He's not shooting all that effectively. He's never played the best defense, and now they've extended him and given him a lot of money. Again, this was cool when Naz Reid wasn't making that much, and he was a guy off the bench. Now everyone, they're bringing the Naz Reid towels or whatnot, or whatever the hell they have, the signs, the Naz Reid signs in the playoffs. Everyone loves Naz Reid. He comes in, he sinks a bunch of threes, and that was cool when he was underpaid. He's getting paid a boatload of money now. I mean, now you have to perform, and there's expectation on you as well. Naz Reid can't just go into games and shoot 2 for 10 and score 5 points like he did against Los Angeles. So with all that being, taking all that into account, I think Charlotte spread here is fine. They should be able to cover. They're at home, and they're being given 5.5 points. Again, the biggest factor in this game is LaMelo Ball. As long as Ball plays, we should be fine. It's a young core in Charlotte, obviously. Knuppel, Kalkbrenner, Melo, obviously, trying to lead the charge. I'm going to take Hornets spread tonight, plus 5.5 at home against the antless Minnesota Timberwolves. On to our third best bet of the video. We're going to take another underdog at home. Give me the Washington Wizards. So we just mentioned it earlier, and I'll say it again. We took Orlando Magic money line on Thursday. I thought it was a great value spot. I know Orlando hadn't been playing well this season, but they weren't gonna go on the road and lose to Charlotte, and they didn't, obviously. I think the Wizards can cover at home right now. The Wizards are playing inspiring basketball, I guess, kind of. They haven't really been that bad. They have gotten blown out in 3 games that they've played, but competitive game against Philly, an overtime game against Philly, where we took Charlotte spread in that game. I believe it pushed. No, I think we won by half a point. We definitely won by half a point. They beat the Mavs, which I don't know how impressive that is. We'll get to Dallas later in the video. They have a game in Mexico City tonight on Peacock and Telemundo against the Detroit Pistons, so more on that in a little bit. But Washington, they're an odd squad because they're starting CJ McCollum at the 1, Keyshawn George at the 2, Chris Middleton at the 3, Kubali at the 4, and then Alex Sarr at the 5. Sarr's been good this year. Yeah, Sarr has. He had the 31-point game against Philadelphia, a game that they, again, should have won against the 76ers. They were up pretty big in that game, only to blow it, and ultimately for Philly to win that game in overtime in our nation's capital. Last game against the Oklahoma City Thunder in OKC, you get blown out by 19 points. I'm not really too concerned. That's the best team in basketball, and they have the best player in basketball in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Again, SGA with his customary 31 points, and OKC easily wins the game by 19, and the Wizards don't even have a guy crack 20 points. Their leading scorer in that game was CJ McCollum, who put up 19. This is not as much, though, about Washington as it is Orlando. I took Wizards money line earlier in the season, and I did proclaim this might be the last time we take the Washington Wizards all year long, and that's probably the truth about in terms of taking them money line-wise. I don't really trust this team to ever win a basketball game because they're the Wizards. But In terms of a spread, I think this is okay, especially against an underperforming Orlando Magic team. Orlando, that's just what they are. They're underperformers right now. They're underachievers. They're 2-14. They started off 1-0, winning against the Miami Heat, winning a 4-point game where Paolo Banchero dropped 24 and 11. But then 4 straight losses to the Atlanta Hawks, the Chicago Bulls, the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons game, by the way, where we had Pistons money line, and it was a blowout. The Magic will now play for the 4th time this week tonight against the Washington Wizards after a back-to-back on Wednesday and Thursday, playing on the road in Detroit and in Charlotte, beating up on the Hornets. But a third game in 4 nights? It's a lot to ask out of a team. And a continuous road trip, too. By the way, their road trip's not done after this. They have to go to Atlanta on Tuesday before they get 3 straight at home against Boston twice and then the Portland Trailblazers. But that's another factor you have to consider here, too. It's the third game, It's the third game for Orlando in just 4 nights. And it's an Orlando team that hadn't been playing all that well, prior to the Charlotte victory. And again, that was a game that we expected them to win. And obviously they took care of business. The Hornets made their run in the third quarter, but Orlando weathered the storm and found a way to win. It's still an underachieving team this year. Look how they played Detroit. They got out early and the Pistons put it on at the end of the second quarter and really never let up from there. Philadelphia beat them by 12 points. Chicago blew them out. Now, losing the Bulls actually is not that big of a deal because look how good the Bulls are right now. Again, Josh Giddey should right now be in the MVP race. And I get it, we're 5 games into the season. Josh Giddey is putting up MVP-type numbers. It is absurd what Giddey is doing so far this season. He just dropped a career high in points, which is only 32. But Josh Giddey's averaging right now 25 points a game and a triple-double, essentially. So put some respect on Giddey's name. They just beat the Knicks at home. The Knicks suck, so good on Chicago. I'm cheering for the Bulls this season. And I told you last season, Josh Giddey is a player, and Josh Giddey is going to be a big-time winner in the National Basketball Association for a very long time. We had his PRA yesterday. He easily cashed for us. Best game of the season for Giddey, and the Bulls are still undefeated. But anyways, losing to the Bulls for Orlando is not that bad of a loss. They lose to Atlanta prior to that at home by 4 points. Again, this was the offseason champion. The Desmond Bane move was one of the biggest moves that a team could make in the offseason. Obviously, the Magic are healthy again. Jalen Suggs was out for the second half of last season. Suggs is back, and you're starting Suggs, Bane, Wagner, Banchero, and Wendell Carter Jr. Obviously, this is a team last year that got mauled with injuries beyond just the Suggs injury for the second half of the season. You had Banchero with the torn oblique. You had Franz Wagner with the torn oblique. Again, they both had the same exact injury. And there were, again, just this entire team just got shredded last year. And hopefully that doesn't happen this year, but they've just been supreme underachievers. And a huge factor is that they've played 3 games in 4 days. And it's not like, every game's in Orlando. They've had to travel from city to city to city to play. And I get it, they're up in that. Well, no, they went from, these aren't, no, they're crossing the entire East, they're crossing the entire East Coast here. Philly to Detroit, really just the 3-game stretch we're talking about. Detroit, Michigan, all the way down to Charlotte, North Carolina, and all the way up to Washington in 4 days? It's a lot of travel. It is. And I get it. Like, none of those flights are beyond 2.5 hours, but still, it's the whole process of getting on a plane, going to a new city, checking into a hotel. It's a lot. Travel's a real issue sometimes with teams, and I'm picking against a Magic team here that has had to, move a lot. They've been underachievers this season. They haven't, what got them to the dance last year, the last 2 seasons, and what they've been so good at doing is just playing very good defensive basketball and just shutting teams down. They have not done that so far this season as teams are putting up more points than we've seen the last 3 years in Orlando. They're not built by their defense. They're not, again, dependent on their defense anymore, and they're just getting into, shootouts, which, I guess when you add Bane and you've got Wagner who can score, Banchero who can score, but I just don't love it. I'm going to go Washington Wizards spread here at home. Washington plus 8.5 is way too many points. I think the Magic probably still win the game, but we don't care about the winner. We just need the spread, and the spread tonight, again, in my opinion, favors Washington. So give me the Wizards at home plus 8.5 against the Orlando Magic. On to our 4th best bet of the video. We're going to Neemias Queta. Over 15.5 points and rebounds. Might be one hell of a find, but hold up here. I think this hits. I think the matchup's actually really good for him against Houston, especially because he only played 19 minutes last night. Keita should see a lot more run, and I think he should see upwards to the 25 minutes he usually gets. And as long as he plays, again, a fair amount of minutes, we should be fine. Again, line tonight for PR for Neemias Queta is set at 15.5. He's been the starting center all year long for the Boston Celtics. Wasn't really projected to be that guy, but he has shown up in a big way for Boston so far this year, the former Utah State Aggies center. And I'm going to be rolling with him tonight. Former second-round pick in 2021 from the Sacramento Kings. Neemias Queta so far this season averaging 9 points and 9 boards per game this year. And obviously last night only played 19 minutes, scored 4 points and had 4 rebounds. That's an off night, did have 3 blocks, and Queta has been a block machine so far. He's had multiple 3-block nights and even a 4-block night in there as well. Again, this has been a very good center so far this season for Boston, a team that obviously had to sell a lot in the offseason because of salary cap issues, because we have to pay both Tatum and, we have to continue to pay both Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But Neemias Queta has been the big surprise of the season so far for the Boston Celtics, and I think that's going to continue tonight. Not a bad matchup at all. Not a bad matchup. I know there's going to be a man named Alfred Şengün on the other side of him, but it's a Houston team that is a very aggressive bunch. They're going to, I love taking teams that, have quick possessions, put up shots, because that obviously increases the total possession count in the game and the rebound opportunities for a center like Neemias Queta as well. Now, Alfred Şengün's a problem, obviously, and that's going to be the assignment all game long for Queta. And this is a Rockets team. We know that they have the tallest starting lineup in all of basketball. Currently starting Amen Thompson at the 1, Josh Okogie, who's their shortest guy, at the 2, 6'4", then KD, Jabari Smith, and Alfred Şengün. They've been doing this because of the switch up in lineup, because they moved, they got Tari Eason coming off the bench and playing 25 minutes, and obviously the Fred VanVleet injury is a big part of this as well. Regardless of that, though, they're not playing KD at the 2 currently anymore. But anyways, it's a team that takes a lot of shots and there's a lot of rebounding opportunities. And obviously Queta is going to draw the Şengün assignment, but with Şengün being such a focal point of the Rockets offense and just their team in general, I can probably expect Queta to get those customary 26 minutes. Because, Luka Garza is the backup center for Boston. I don't know if they really want Luka Garza on that matchup. Luka Garza, a guy who I'm not that impressed with his defensive abilities. He's not the shot blocker at all that Neemias Queta is. He's 6'10". It's just Garza's going to have a much more rougher time trying to deal with the guy like Şengün, who can just do so much, rather than what Queta can do. And Queta just staying in the game, again, allows for more rebound opportunities and allows for breakaways as well. Not even breakaways, but just, look what I found underneath the basket. Let me, get offensive board and put it back up. That's really where we're trying to score here with Neemias Queta. A guy who's not going to be a scoring option, at least a front line scoring option for this team. It's a starting lineup that consists of Derek White, Jaylen Brown, and Peyton Pritchard. 3 guys who love to shoot the basketball, and 3 guys who, if they miss, obviously, are going to allow for a bunch of opportunities for Queta to haul in rebounds. It's not a bad spot at all tonight because of how many possessions we're going to get. We know Boston loves to shoot. Houston loves to, act quick as well. I think we're fine here. Neemias Queta, again, we need 16 total points and rebounds tonight. It's a line he was getting pretty easily prior to his last game. If that game against Philadelphia didn't happen, we'd be fine here. Second night of a back-to-back, but Queta, for the Boston Celtics, but Queta is not playing on tired legs. Only played less than 20 minutes last night. And you look at what he did again prior to the Philly game against Cleveland, 26 minutes, 10 points, 13 rebounds. Again, that's 23 total PR. Against New Orleans, 6 points, 11 rebounds. That's 17. Detroit, 4 and 6. Knicks, 8 and 5. 1 off. Okay, we're getting there, though. First game of the year against Philly, 17 and 8. I think we're going to be okay here. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for Neemias Queta here. He has fully established himself as the center for the Boston Celtics. And really, when we look at this game, are they going to rely on Luka Garza to guard Şengün? Obviously, there's going to be second unit minutes. But I think Queta is going to get his normal 26 minutes tonight, and I think he's going to have at least 16 PR. Really not a lot when you think about it. Starting center getting 9 rebounds should be fine. 10 rebounds, honestly, will be, it's kind of a benchmark. Yeah. In a game like this, so yes, I would think about 10 boards, 6 points. We'll be fine here. Neemias Queta, the man out of Utah State, over 15.5 points and rebounds tonight here at home against the Houston Rockets. On to our final best bet of the video. We go to Mexico City, Mexico, for the Dallas Mavericks and the Detroit Pistons. If I'm not mistaken, the last time Dallas was over in Mexico, actually, no, I know for a fact the last time they were in Mexico, Luka Doncic was there. And didn't Luka speak Spanish? Well, at least they got AD to play tonight. Oh, never mind. Yeah. At least Kyrie's playing, right? Derek Lively's got... I mean, it's almost to the point where I look at the 7.5 point line and I'm like, that's it? Seriously, that was my first thought process. When I saw that AD's out for at least 2 games, I saw Derek Lively's still out. Why is the line only 7.5? I mean, is the NBA doing some rigging here because we need the game in Mexico to be competitive? I don't think so. So what does Vegas know that I don't? Because on paper, and as you break this game down, you think about this game, it should not be a competitive contest. And I get it. Oh, the Mavericks played the Thunder close a couple nights ago. When Anthony Davis is a number 1 on a team, which he is in Dallas, and he's not playing second fiddle with anybody, and you need him to obviously be your number 1 like he was in New Orleans with the Pelicans, and at times with the Lakers when LeBron told him he needed to be the 1. AD's very good. Anthony Davis can be very effective. He can be a 25-10 player any given night for you. With Anthony Davis off the court, though, now you have a problem. Because that was the major reason they traded Luka, is because Nico felt like, oh, well, we got Kyrie, we have a solid, we can score. We can't play defense, Luka can't play defense, so I want AD, who can put us over the top to become a championship contender. And I like how, by the way, the first ever Inside the NBA segment on ESPN, Chuck and all those guys on ESPN, the Mavs, they're the biggest threat to OKC this year. They're right there. Really? And sure, I bought into the Cooper Flag hype too, and I still believe Cooper Flag is going to be a very good basketball player. It's not like he's playing that poorly, even though bro did piss me off a little bit when he did the too small taunt to Mac McClung, who has been a G League lifer, who's finally getting a shot this season with the Pacers, and with the Pacers injuries, Mac McClung will continue to play. But you're giving the too small taunt to Mac McClung, who is a G League guy. Buddy, you're the first overall pick in the draft. You're making $20 million out of college. Mac McClung, I don't even think he's made $20 million in his NBA career just yet. He's on a $1.2 million contract with the Indiana Pacers, which again, I mean, like, these guys are all millionaires, but still, like, really, dude? You're 18 and, like, okay, you scored 2 points the night before. I don't know. So Cooper Flag's kind of, I don't know. I'm already like, really, dude? But here's the thing about this game. Cooper Flag alone, he's probably going to have a career night scoring, I think. I mean, his career high is 22. I think we probably get 25 points out of Cooper Flag, legitimately, tonight. That's about it. The Mavs are going to be starting tonight, if I had to guess, Cooper Flag, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Najee Marshall, and I don't even know who plays the 5 because Gadford's questionable. Okay, Gadford should play. Great. You'll have D'Lo off of the bench, Max Christie off the bench. I don't know. I mean, we've seen Klay just look so this year, man. Thompson's been very mid. Leave the game before the game leaves you. Klay Thompson is struggling mightily to shoot the 3 ball this year. He shoots it at a 25% rate. Again, still a starter in this league, but he has not been effective at all this season. If anything, it just looks like, there's the ghost of Klay Thompson still trying to hoop. It's kind of sad, but it is what it is. Detroit should maul this team. Look at the way the Pistons played against Orlando. They played a very good game, and that's what the Detroit Pistons can be at their best. Cade Cunningham putting up 30 points. I mean, this is still a very good starting lineup. This is a team that was just a couple games away from moving on to the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs last year. They were in a very competitive game in a very poorly officiated first round of the playoffs last year against the New York Knicks. It's a Pistons team that's pretty good on paper, and they are a good team. Cade Cunningham at the 1, Duncan Robinson at the 2, Asar Thompson at the 3, Tobias Harris at the 4, and Jalen Duran at the 5. It's a good team. It's a good team with a pretty solid bench that's only going to continue to get better when Marcus Sasser and Jaden Ivey get healthy. I like Detroit a lot in this spot. I don't think the game's competitive. I look at what Dallas is starting and the injuries that they have. I mean, the injury pileup is already starting for the Mavs. I mean, we saw this as soon as AD came in last year. And sure, again, this was prior to AD as well because Luka was injured and they had the Gadford injury and Lively was hurt at times as well. I understand that. But right now, I mean, you are down a bunch in your rotation. You're without your 2 starting bigs because AD usually plays the 4/5 regardless. Your 2 bigs in Davis and Lively, and you might not even have Gadford tonight either. It will be rough for the Mavericks. Expect a lot of Cooper Flag, but other than that, I mean, what, Klay Thompson's supposed to help him out? Come on now. Give me the Detroit Pistons to win via a blowout tonight in Mexico City. Pistons, it is a late night spot for them. I mean, it's 10 o'clock Detroit time, but that doesn't matter. They play on the West Coast all the time. It's just a weird late night spot between a team in Texas and Detroit, but it is what it is. Give me the Detroit Pistons. Actually, they're on Central Time Zone, aren't they? Yeah, they are. So it's like 9 o'clock there. But anyways, I'm going to take the Detroit Pistons to cover against the Dallas Mavericks. Minus 7.5 for the Pistons here in Mexico City against the AD-less Dallas Mavericks. Folks, thank y'all for watching our NBA best bets here for November 1st. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you did disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow for more daily NBA best bets. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.